Hey guys, it's Sydney again. I'm continuing my conversation and my speech about campus sexual assault. All of my statistics are coming from RAIN.org as well as campussafetymagazine.com. Some of these statistics are pretty scary and it's a lot to take in, but I'm hoping that at the end of this, all of this information is going to encourage people to continue to speak up against sexual assault and encourage victims to speak out against their sexual assault and know that there's a community behind them and we support the victims, not the perpetrators. So I'll start with 11.2% of all college students, male and female, experience rape or sexual assault of some form, whether it's actual physical forced sexual relations or if it's harassment, stalking, whatever, etc. All of those things fall under sexual assault. I also have a statistic about the LGBTQIA community. 21% of transgender and queer gender or non-conforming students have been sexually assaulted. This statistic is supposed to show that it happens more often in this community than it does in a straight community and a conforming community. And I think it's just comes from the vulnerability of already being in a minority community and already not really having a voice. These perpetrators continue to take from them. So that's a very sad statistic. Only 20% of females actually report their sexual assault. And this has to do with what I've talked about previously, the shame associated with being sexually assaulted. But it also has to do with recently, women have been accused of reporting good men of raping them, and they've been said to be falsely accusing them. And from my statistics, only 2% of reports actually turn out to be false. So women are afraid to come forward because they come forward about something so traumatic that has happened to them, and they get called liars for it. And it happens often. This most recent example is Brock Turner, who was convicted, though he was still only given a slap on the wrist. He basically got 6 months and a "you shouldn't rape women" again. And meanwhile, his victim is basically told that it doesn't matter because he's a white man who hadn't had any infractions previously, so he deserves mercy. But 30% of women who have been raped or sexually assaulted have contemplated committing suicide. So by us giving these men a slap on the wrist or even accusing the victims of being liars, we continue to push back the willpower for women to want to report their crimes, because oftentimes we're the ones that continue to pay. So women are sitting here contemplating giving up their lives over a sexual assault or a rape, and when they come forward about it, all the society does is tell them that they shouldn't have, and that they should have stayed silent, that this dude doesn't deserve the accusation and he didn't mean to. It was boys being boys, and that's a lot of the reason why women don't come forward. So well under 50% of women actually come forward about their assault. My statistics also say that college freshmen and sophomores are more at risk of being assaulted, and I think that this has to do with age, because it also says women 18 and younger are the ones that are mostly victims of sexual assault. As you get older, it happens less. Not to say that it doesn't happen, but it does happen less. So college freshmen and sophomore are at greater risk. The other big part of campus sexual assault is alcohol. 1 in 3 assaults, the perpetrator was intoxicated. This becomes a bit of a sticky issue when 2 people are intoxicated. Women are not legally allowed to give consent when they're not in their right mind, but I understand the gray area when 2 people are intoxicated and one person maybe gave verbal consent but wasn't in their right mind. I understand, but legally you can't give consent when you're not in your right mind. So it's just, it's assault. And then you have the issue of the woman being drunk or drugged or whatever, and the man being in his sound and right mind, though maybe under the influence of some alcohol, but still having sex with someone that he's aware is not in their right mind. So there's a lot of gray area there, but at the end of the day, according to the law, it's sexual assault. So I just think avoiding sex under the influence of alcohol is probably the best idea. Like I said about the 18 and younger, the statistic for that is 44% of sexual assault victims are 18 or younger, and I think that has to do with a naivety and just it's easier to take advantage of women the younger that they are. This just has to do with life experience, because honestly, the older you get, almost every woman has experienced some sort of harassment or sexual assault of some sort. That the older that we get, the wiser we are at handling it, and we can take control of the situation a little bit better. Whereas younger women typically are a little bit more timid and just allow these things to happen because they don't understand how to fight back. But hopefully some of these statistics open your mind a little bit, and you can see the issues that we have as a society when it comes to sexual assault, especially for young women.